Welcome back to another episode of the Glory Reds podcast. And of course, I'm joined with Don Benito. What's good, my guy?
Was good, Pastor D? Was good, my dude?
Yeah, man. I'm, I have no words, man. I have no words. Literally, I've got no words because, man, like, I don't know. And the funny thing is, like, 'cause we had a conversation yesterday after the match, and it was like that defeat. It's almost become so routine for us, you
Mm,
know, that when
mm,
we lose, it's like yeah, it's like one of those like I even said in the group, like, we go and win one, then you expect the next game for us to lose. Because this season we've sort of had like a 50-50 win-lose ratio,
yeah,
So you don't
yeah,
really expect us to go like on a 2-3 game winning run. It's like win one, lose one, win one, lose one. Because that Liverpool game was actually the first draw this season.
yeah,
We
yeah.
haven't drawn to any team this season. That Liverpool was like that result in itself so weird, because when you think back to that game, you're like, wait, did we win or did we lose? Like draw does not come to mind because we haven't drawn this season. So thinking of that Liverpool result is always like a tricky one because you're not sure what happened. So when we
Mm,
lost to West Ham, it like added up, like, yeah, this is, the time to lose,
mm,
and then the win is
mm,
still going to come. But yeah,
mm,
man, like I said, just it was weird, I just not look, I know West Ham are on form. I know they're playing well. I know they're a good team. I know we're playing away, but I just didn't expect 2-0. I at least expected us to register a goal. So the fact that we lost 2-0, it's just weird. Because even when I was watching the match, it didn't feel like West Ham could score 2 goals against us. If anything, maybe just one. But two feels like it for me, it feels like a thrashing when it's not. It feels like a thrashing when it's not. And it's just like, how did you guys allow West Ham to beat us 2-0?
D.
Man. Anyway, those are my initial thoughts before we really jump into it. Yeah.
Do you remember that Fulham game where Fulham were completely in control of the game? Like they were to smash us, and then in a blink of an eye, there was like a moment of madness, and then from there they just lost the
Yeah.
game. Remember that? Remember
Yeah.
that scenario? Red cards started
Yeah.
flying,
Yeah.
and then we just
Yeah.
capitalized on that.
Yeah.
When I think about bizarre moments in football or bizarre games, that game and
Yeah.
this game that happened, this one,
Yeah.
same WhatsApp,
It's
same
like a typical
WhatsApp
example.
group,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's like you said, it was just bizarre. And remember, I don't know if I said it to you or if I said it to somebody else when I was talking about the Sheffield and
Yeah.
Aston Villa result, and I was like, such
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
Like, why is
Yeah.
Sheffield
Yeah.
United trying to beat Aston Villa? That is not normal. Like,
Yeah.
who? And remember, we were talking
Yeah.
about Aston Villa, saying like people are forgetting Aston Villa flying out on the road. All of a sudden, Sheffield United, bottom of the barrel, about to
Yeah.
put them to the wall. Really? So I just felt like,
Dude.
I don't want to say now that, but I was like, it had started. Yeah, it had started a bad omen because again,
Yeah.
you look at the results of other games, they were all
Yeah.
weird, you know. But
Yeah.
this one in particular,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
this one, there are reasons to why we lost, and we are going to get into those things.
100%. 100%. But yeah, man, before we get into those reasons, of course, we're going to start where we usually start. And that's, of course, with the starting 11 that Eric Ten Hag
Starting
decided to
lineup.
put out
Mhm.
against West Ham. Now, of course, we know that United are riddled with injuries. So there's always going to be a weird, lineup. But look, the one that surprised me was Varane's absence, right? I didn't know he was injured. I don't remember Ten Hag mentioning that Varane was injured during the press conference, or maybe because
He
the
was
journalists
ill.
assumed that he was fit. Yeah, he was ill. Oh, okay. So that's why he didn't play. So yeah, so obviously, we
Yeah.
started off with the usual in the goalpost, Andre Onana. Luke Shaw and Aaron Wan-Bissaka started as our fullbacks. I was actually shocked with the Wan-Bissaka start, because so that was a bit shocking. Johnny
No,
Evans
but
and
Delo
then Willie
is
Kambwala,
Cardiff,
right? So
remember?
this Willie Kambwala,
Remember
yeah.
we talked that
Sorry,
Dalo, Dalo. Remember we discussed
yeah. Red card, man.
he got a car.
Jeez, red card, red card. Sorry, guys. I'm slow this morning. Yes, Delo was not gonna start. Yes. The funny thing is, I'm the one who mentioned it. Hey, man. But yeah, Delo didn't start, so Aaron Wan-Bissaka had to start this game, and then of course Willie Kambwala. And then in the midfield, we got Bruno Fernandes, Alejandro Garnacho, Anthony, Kobe Mainu, and Scott McTominay. And then up front, we started Rasmus Hoyland. Now, man, as soon as that lineup came out, I texted you and I was like, yo, fam, you because for me, it
Yeah,
just wasn't
yeah,
making sense. It just look, obviously we knew he was going to start Scott McTominay, but there's always that thing at the back of your mind where you're just like crossing fingers, like, please, Ten Hag, please, we're playing West Ham,
yeah,
please
yeah,
just do the
yeah,
right thing
yeah,
and bench boy, what I mean? But unfortunately, he started him. Obviously, the Varane thing was a bit of a surprise because, again, he wasn't asked during the press conference, like, what's the availability on Varane? I'm guessing because no one knew the situation about him being ill. And, the last game he played, he was
yeah.
fit. So there's no reason for the journalists to ask questions about him. So it was really shocking to see Johnny Evans and William Kambwala from the academy, pairing up as our center backs. And in all fairness, from what I watched, they actually had a pretty good game, you know. So
Yep,
big ups to
yep.
Willie, for holding his
Big ups
ground.
to Willie,
It's
man. Big
big
ups to Willie,
no,
bro.
seriously, round of applause. Um, yeah, man,
Mm,
these academy boys are just coming into this first team squad and are just doing their thing, you know, like it's another day in the
mm,
office.
mm,
Like it's so
mm,
inspiring, it's so
mm,
heartwarming how these players just
mm.
come in and do the job. You know what I mean? Look, and I get it. It's
Yeah,
just one game, right? It's just one game. You don't want to get excited. I don't want to say Willie's the next best thing at United left center back, but I'm just happy that as a placeholder player, he was able to come in
yeah,
and do the job well. He wasn't
bro.
looking fidgety, he wasn't looking nervous, he wasn't like it's like, yeah, I've been doing this. I've been playing first team Premier League football for a minute. Why haven't I not been starting? And those are the type of performances that just send like shivers down my spine, like, God damn it. Why can't you fucking first team players who have been in this, Premier League for so many years be smooth as these academy boys? But yeah, then of course in the midfield, Kobe, really happy to see him getting a start. Scott McTominay, yeah, man. I mean, like I said, I hit you up yesterday and I saw Scott. I'm like, I know he has to start, but god damn it, man. Like, why? You
And
know what I mean?
you know
So,
what's funny? It's so
yeah,
funny that you make me laugh because it's like when we make our predictions during
yeah,
the match, you're always like, this is what I'm picking. Like this is the squad I'm picking. Like it's not. You always say
yeah,
this is what the manager is going to pick. So I'm gonna like when you're picking your lineup, you always pick Scott McTominay, and it's so
yeah,
funny that now, like when he's picked,
yeah, yeah.
because
I get
when
upset.
we're picking our starting lineup, yeah, you get upset because when we're picking our starting lineup, we
Yeah,
pick our starting lineup that we want to see the change.
yeah,
Like we we know that if he goes with
yeah,
this starting lineup, things should be alright. But then he just decides to go with his own
yeah.
things, and then.
Damn.
But yeah, man, let's talk about Scott. Let's talk about Scott,
Yeah,
baby. Let's talk about
let's talk
Scott,
about Scott, man.
baby.
Man,
Scott.
Scott. I don't even.
Listen,
Ah,
people
man.
people are not
Mm,
going to talk about this, yeah? But Scott
yeah,
McTominay, he didn't stop Paquet for that first goal.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
I
He was
know,
literally, he was literally
he
watching
was right
him do his
there.
thing. He was admiring. He was a
Yeah,
spectator. He
dude.
was a spectator. Like, wow. You know what I mean?
The, I I don't understand. And then and then
Yeah.
and then you see like Casemiro. Casemiro, when we
Yeah.
brought him to United, like when we started seeing him playing, we noticed that
Yeah.
he was the guy that was shutting, like people were not even attempting. You see, even with Martinez,
Yeah.
Martinez doesn't even allow
Yeah.
you to think about shooting. Like when you
Yeah.
think about it, he's already closed
Yes.
you down.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
Scott McTominay doesn't have that
Exactly.
urgency. He doesn't have that thing in him like, yo, I need to close this guy down. Because if he
No.
did,
No.
not even
Yep.
he didn't
He
even have to
doesn't.
make contact. He just needed to be a presence, like an obstacle for Paqueta,
Yeah.
and then let the rest handle itself. And he can't. He can't, bro. And this happens all the time in the midfield. He only gets involved with the midfield when there's a lot of when there's a scrabble.
Yeah.
Like that's Scott's
Yeah.
thing. When there's
Yeah.
confusion and
Yes. Yes.
chaos.
Yes.
I don't know.
Chaos. Yeah.
He seems to thrive in that
Yes.
kind of
Yes.
environment. I don't get it, but man, we can't have a
Yeah.
chaotic midfield
Yeah.
all the time. You know. Mm.
Exactly. Exactly. No, that's true. That's true and a very good observation because yeah, that's the only time you see Scott involved. Like when there's like a like you said, like this chaos in the midfield, balls just pinging against all sorts of players. That's when he sort of like seems to get in there, get a ball, and then make a good pass. And then from that one thing that happened, situation, people confused, like, oh, did you see what Scott did?
Hey,
But that's it. But usually when the game is being played, he's not in it. He's not
he's
involved.
not.
His head is not in it. He will just be ball watching. And I don't know what he's waiting for exactly. And like you said, he has no urgency. Casemiro sees players attempting to do things. He's closing them down.
One time,
Martinez closing them
one
down.
time,
Kobe Menu closing
one
down.
time.
You know, but we can't keep on because Scott McTominay, he's just sitting there and he's putting a lot of the workload and the burden on other players who have to rush out of their positions to come and press when he's supposed to be doing that and he's the closest person to that man. And then that player who ends up having to cover up for Scott McTominay ends up getting carded, because now they've had to put extra effort coming in from a much, wider, deeper position, whatever, to come and cover that ball because Scott can't do that. You understand what I mean?
Mm.
So yeah, man, man, I just and the thing that's frustrating, right, is that Scott hasn't scored in I don't know how many fucking games. Why
Bruh,
is he still
you
being
see,
played,
this
right? Clearly,
was the
his
same
goal
process
scoring
about
form has
Rashford.
dried out. He's not scoring anymore.
Mm,
So if he's not
mm.
scoring, yeah, if he's not scoring anymore, why is he being started? What's the justification now? Because it's been how many games? It's been more than 5 games. More than 5 games. Scotty hasn't scored. What's his relevance in that in the game? Because just like we established last week when I was reading out the stats, he hasn't had any assists this season, and his goal scoring has dried out. So what's the purpose of him playing? Because he's not dominating in the midfield, he's not intercepting balls, he's not being creative, he's not scoring goals. Why are we playing Scott McTominay? Like surely at this point, and
The
what's
million
funny,
dollar
Ben, is that
question.
game by game, a lot of people are starting to lose faith that people are starting to now lose faith in Ten Hag. I was shocked in the group when I read the message from Tebow, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm done now. Ten Hag out." You know what I mean? Like people are getting to
Too
that
early.
point where they're like, "We're tired. We're tired of backing you. We're tired of backing you." You understand? And yet, it is too early. It is too early, but we we spoke about this. If Ten Hag continues to make decisions like this, he's going to get himself sacked, you know, because these decisions are going to lead to results like this. And at some point, it's not up to us. At some point, the club is going to look at it from whatever point of view they want to look at it. They're going to completely forget about no. He's been so out of all the United managers in history, he's actually having the best record so far. But unfortunately, it doesn't translate like that on paper. That's the unfortunate part. He's having a better start to his Manchester United career than what Klopp had at Liverpool. Then what? Do you understand what I mean? And the unfortunate thing as well is at Liverpool, the reason why they were more patient with Klopp is because they already went 20, when Klopp comes, he may turn this around in 4 seasons. They just figured it's just another manager who's going to come in, try and do his thing, and then you'll be out. You understand? So I don't think the expectations were really that high, right? United only clocked a decade without winning the Premier League when 2 seasons ago or something. So we haven't gone 20 years, fam. Liverpool went 20 years. We haven't yet got to that point, you know what I mean?
Starting to become a
Where
problem.
we're like Liverpool, where we were like Arsenal. Exactly. So at this point, like we're still sort of in that delusional phase where we just believe that United always need to be in Europe. They always need to be in top four. We always need to compete. And the problem is when both Liverpool and them like hit their bottom, Liverpool for a long time was struggling to get into top four. For a long time they're not being competitive. Whereas with us, you'll find like we have a horrible season, right? And then the following season we finish third, and then we get hope. Then we have a bad season, and then the following season we finish it. You know what I mean? So it's like season after season, like it will be terrible, but then other seasons it will be like, oh, we're actually not bad. You know what I mean? And because of that, we get delusional, and it's not really because we had a good season, it's just because the other bigger teams had a poor season, you know. So with Ten Hag, we unfortunately United are still at that phase where we have been winning things here and there, because remember, like I said, like both Liverpool, Arsenal, it wasn't just Premier League, it was a lot of competitions. But I don't think we have gone like 3 seasons without winning something. At least every 3 seasons we win a trophy or a cup here, something. Yeah, you understand? So that's why we still feel like we're in contention for a lot of these things. That's why we expect so much from the manager. So Ten Hag, this loss, man, it dropped us to 8. I think we're now like, what is it, 8 points from top four. We were 3 points from top four. Now we're 8 points from top four, fam. 8. So yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know, man. Dog. What are your
We've
thoughts, man,
made
on the
no
managers?
we you see, here's the thing. You see, like as fans and supporters, it's very, very easy for us to sit here and start barking orders, saying this should happen and this should happen. And quite fairly true, because the way the football game has evolved, or the way the game has evolved now, it is almost interactive. We the consumer is right involved with everything that's going on. So you can put in your two
Yeah,
cents and everything, and we always have. This is why we even have situations like this where we're talking about this situation. But
yeah,
Eric Ten Hag, you know what? Every manager, he's not the only one. I think it started off with Jose Mourinho, where he started putting a player or playing a
yeah,
player out of position because of the situation that's
yeah,
happening at United. It's almost like they fall
yeah,
on the what? You know how we always talked about, like, if Eric Ten Hag got every single player that he wanted first choice, then if we were to be riddled with all the situations and the problems that we have now, he would have no excuses, because he's got literally number one striker that he wanted, number one midfielder that he wanted, number one CDM, number one winger, number one whatever. He would have the number one, the very best of all those things that he wants in that position. But then again, he doesn't get those players. Then we get hit with bizarre situations, injuries, blah 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 blah. And then he finds himself in a situation where he has to pick players because of their consistency. And right now, I was
yeah,
thinking about Scott McTominay. I really, really was. And there's a difference between Scott McTominay and Rashford. And I know it's a very strange one, but then I would just like people to hear me out and listen to this. You see, like Rashford. Rashford is a winger striker. You expect him to score, right?
yeah,
With
yeah,
Rashford, it got to a point where I think they were listening to the fans or listening to everybody complaining that no, Rashford is just not scoring. There's no point of putting him in. Then you see
Yeah.
Garnacho coming in, then Garnacho does the business. So that one was an easy one. Now
Yeah.
with Scott McTominay, Scott McTominay finds himself in this situation where he's like the most consistent. How can I say it? Remember Harry Maguire when he just never got injured? Like he was just there and he
Yeah.
was just always.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to say Scott McTominay is like that, but it's giving me those vibes. And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
the manager is sort of trying to like. You see, this is the thing that I don't. This is the thing that is difficult. Trying to find the reason why the manager is doing something. Like
Yeah.
I don't sit here and think, nah, this manager, like he's just gonna sit here and like, no, Scott McTominay. I don't care what everybody else is doing. I'm picking him because I'm the gaffer. Nah, there's a fucking reason why he's picking Scott McTominay. There is a reason. Whether Scott McTominay is not
Yeah.
like I don't know whether he's understanding what his role, what he's supposed to do, or the instructions are lost in translation. I don't know, but I don't think the manager sits here and tells Scott McTominay, "Hey man, I want you in that midfield to let those guys pass through." Nah, it's just how that guy is. That how he's built. Why the manager is picking him now? That is the manager's fault. This is where now we come to the manager, and I was building up to a point where I was like, whenever a manager picks players we don't want as fans, it's very easy. That's when we always say we want the manager to go. Now, yesterday's loss, honestly, if I'm being very brutally honest and harsh, the gaffer should bounce because he had everything else in his um, disposal to sort of get a draw, probably even win that game because we should have won
Yeah.
that game. We were on top of that game.
Yeah.
Yes, for the
Yep.
first
Yep.
30 minutes, we didn't
Yep.
shoot. There was no shot to goal, no goal at target. But that game should have been
Yeah.
won. We had the upper hand. Now, if
Yep.
you want that, if you want to
Yep.
sack the manager because of like that kind of madness, cool. If you're being like, if
Mm.
we are not going to accept mediocre, then what he did yesterday was absolutely unacceptable. But again,
Yep.
you look at the players that we have, you look at everything that we have in our disposal. Manchester United, like who
Mm.
can we now rely on? Like, okay,
Yeah.
Amrabat, but it also like honestly, D, I am still sticking with the manager. It's for me, it's still too early. It really is, and
Yeah.
I believe like the injury guys, like the injured players coming back, are definitely going to add something. It's
Yeah.
taking long, and we need a quick solution for our quick fix. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yet we
Yeah.
are
True.
running a
True.
marathon. You know what I mean? We're running a
Yeah.
marathon, yet we
Yeah.
want things to be. Now, it can't work unless Ineos and
No,
them
I hear you.
decide January. Okay, money on Eric Ten Hag. Go out there and do your thing. Ah, man, I think we can calm down and chill, provided he gets his players. But
Yeah.
these quick things, they're not going to help us. They the football is better. United's football is better. That's the
Yeah.
funny thing. It's the way, like, I'm even
Yep.
cringing saying it. We are playing
Yep.
better football. And I did mention that we're going to start
We
playing
are.
better. We're just not winning.
Yeah.
So, my guy, I
Yeah.
honestly don't know. I don't know what the
Like,
gaffer needs to do.
no, I hear you, and you're absolutely right. Like, it's a marathon, right? And unfortunately, like I mentioned, you know, it's because we still put ourselves in these positions is why expectations are still high. It's because we're still winning cups. It's because every now and then we're still
Mm,
qualifying into Europe. It's because of XYZ why we still believe that we haven't fallen that far. Because if we're like, if we can do
mm,
it this season, why can't we do it the next? You understand? If last season
mm,
we got to
mm.
two finals, won a trophy. Why can't we do it this season? You understand?
Why?
That's the
What's
problem.
difficult?
That's the problem.
Same
So,
players.
you know what? Exactly, exactly. So in hindsight, yesterday after the loss, I thought about that video that you did about being happy that we're out of Europe. I'm like, you know what? Ben is fucking right. I'm actually happy we are out of Europe. Fuck the money. This team needs to start from scratch. You
From
understand what I mean?
scratch,
Like, we
bro.
need to get rid of all these players. I don't care if next season we're not in Europe. In fact, I'll be happy. When I saw us eighth, I'm like, we should stay eighth. I don't want
Yeah.
this in Prim. I don't want this in the Champions League. I don't want this in Europa. I don't want this in conference. Whatever they call it. I don't want. You know what I mean? Next season we should just be playing Premier League. Next season should be a season where Ten Hag can, have no pressure. You understand what I mean? We're gonna have no money, and that's what
Mm,
I want it to be like because I want him to get Bo Willie,
yeah.
Bo Mainu, Bo Maybury, Bo Ahmed, Bo what. This you should start a fresh
Yeah.
team, Ben, with these youngsters who want to play, who understand how modern football should be played. Ben, I'm not gonna lie to you. Peter made a mentioned in the group about how boring the game was, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
he's right.
Yeah.
This is a boring game. Yes, we have improved, but I shit you not. When I was watching that Aston Villa game versus Sheffield, I was more excited about that game than I was about Manchester United versus West Ham. That
Mm,
looked like modern day football. It looked complete. It looked like these guys know what the fuck they're doing. Sheffield, the way Sheffield were playing, I'm like, if we could play like Sheffield, fam would even be top of the league with the quality of players that we have you know.
true.
And when I was looking at them play, I'm like, United are fucked. When we play Aston Villa, we're fucked. Hey. Unai is Villa, dude. Villa plays,
I
Villa
know.
plays. We are,
I know.
and I think that's also what sort of like upset me yesterday because like out of West Ham and Villa, right, the team to where we should have got a point was at West Ham because we're not getting a point against Villa. That one we should forget about it. So that
Mm,
means literally two losses off the bounce.
mm.
You know,
I,
West Ham
yeah.
was the game to win. That's the
Mm,
one. Yeah, he's going to have stress against Unai. And correct me if I'm wrong. United do not have a good winning record against Unai. We don't, because if I'm
is
not
it?
mistaken, when we
Not
lost
Villa,
when
but
we
Unai.
lost to Unai, yes, Unai. When I think when we lost to what you call this Seville in the Europa, wasn't Unai manager at that time? Wasn't he the manager at that time?
He
Well,
was. He
like
was
how
the. He was, no, he was the manager for Villarreal.
Villarreal, and then we lost to Villarreal, right? Yes, exactly. It reminds me of that interview with Jose on the OB what you call this, the OB podcast that you sent
Uh
me the
huh.
link to watch. And he was talking
Yeah.
about how he got sacked from Spurs. And he was like, I don't know why they sacked me because I've got a good record against Pep. You know what I mean? And I just beat
Yeah.
City, you know, before coming
In
into
the.
this final. So it doesn't make sense.
Brah,
Yeah, why they sacked me
yeah.
because I had a plan
Yeah.
and we were going to win.
Brah.
And then they sacked me.
Brah.
You understand what I mean? You understand what I'm saying? So for me, it's like these managers, they also know, just like how players have good records against certain teams, like they always score against certain teams, whatever. Also, managers have good records against other managers, despite what club they're playing for. You understand? And
Yeah.
Unai is one of those
Yeah.
managers that he just has a good record against. When Unai is playing United, doesn't matter which team Black United. And that's what scares me because this Villa fam, dog. You guys were supposed to beat West
Okay.
Ham.
Okay.
You're not gonna get points from Villa. You understand, fam? So it's mental going into that
Yeah.
Villa
No.
match. I don't even want to
It's
think about it. But United, yes, like you said, we have improved.
pretty tough.
What other teams play? They are playing that modern football, and we are not playing that modern football. So for me, next season, I want all these players that play volleyball who are still playing for Fergie. I need them out of this team. We need players modern football. Willie was watching him play, was playing modern football. Kobe was playing modern football.
Our scanner.
Don't want that. He must go. He must go, die off with that old school way of playing football. It should leave with them, and we should just now rebuild this team with these youngsters, fam. Me, that's what I want, because we're gonna have no money. And then we're gonna buy
Yo.
hungry young players who want to play football, you know? Yeah, dog.
Bruh,
Yeah, but anyway,
what
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
that thing?
That's
What is
basically
that
what I
thing
wanted
that
to say.
police
Like,
use? What is that thing that police use to catch speed traps? Like the word is here. Like I can't believe
the speed gun,
like, is it a speed gun?
the spike streak.
No,
Yeah,
no,
the
no, no,
speed
no,
gun.
no, no, no. The thing the thing that scans, like, the thing that talk like alerts other cops that there's some other stuff happening. What is it called? Like I can't believe I forgot this
Yeah, yeah,
police
yeah,
scanner.
yeah,
Police scanner.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
I
yes, yes,
wanted
yes, yeah, 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 yeah.
I wanted to say Kobe's our police scanner, man.
Dude,
Kobe's
yeah,
our
yeah,
police
yeah,
scanner, man. That boy is just
yeah. Dude, fam, like I was in a conversation with a colleague from work. Yeah, he's an Arsenal fan, and like he's like very sympathetic to what's going on at United. But he's like, dude,
I appreciate
Kobe,
him.
you guys have a baller.
Thank
You know
you.
what I mean?
He
And I'm
knows
like,
football.
dude, it's not only us who recognize it, but other teams, other fans are like, damn, but United have a player there. You
How?
know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's like, I wouldn't like if you guys want to sell players, like Arsenal wouldn't mind getting Kobe. Like,
bro.
how is that boy and how is that boy so complete as a CDM at that age? He's like, when do you find CDMs at that age playing that type of football? It's insane, dude. Like I've heard opposition fans saying that. I've heard commentators saying that. I've heard pundits saying that. Like
Nah,
that's so gobsmacked.
he's
Like
destined for
how is this
greatness.
even possible? Dude, dude, Kobe is breaking the mold. You know what I mean? It's almost like how we saw like a young Ronaldo, how we saw a young Neymar play when they're like 18, 19. Like, how are you kids even doing this? It's insane. You know what I mean? At that age. And Kobe is like, man, fuck, man. Kobe, fuck me, dog. Like, dog, like you don't
He's
understand. You don't understand,
just
fam.
we
He's
just
too
need
mint. Every time I watch him play, it's like I fam, I
D
can't. I
D.
can't comprehend it.
I want
I
to ask
can't.
you.
I literally can't.
I want to
Yeah.
ask you. Who, which midfielder out there in the world, young or well, preferably not old, because I would have said Casemiro, but Casemiro's done. But which midfielder out there right now do you
Yeah.
think can complement Kobe Mainu? Like if he were to have this midfielder with Kobe Mainu in our midfield together with Bruno,
Yeah.
like our midfield would tear shit up. Who is the one
Yeah.
midfielder do you think?
You know what? Honestly and ashamedly,
Uh,
I've never been a person that like keeps an eye open for like CDMs and stuff like that. When it comes to those type of like, if I was a scout, like that's one department I would horribly fail at.
uh,
I'm not really like versed. Yeah, like for me, like I pay more attention to like attacking midfielders, strikers,
uh-huh.
um, fullbacks and stuff like that. But I don't know, for some reason, I just don't watch out for like good CDMs out there.
No,
So when you're asking me this
even
question, I'm
midfielders,
honest, I am clueless. You know
bro.
what I mean? And
I have
and the thing is, and the reason why I'm sort of clueless is because obviously I'm looking at the way Ten Hag wants to play. He wants to play with two CDMs, thinking like who would pair up nicely with Kobe? So if you go ahead and give your mentions first, maybe a name would ring to mind, while you're mentioning yours.
oh, I have five. I actually even have
Yeah.
more. That I
Yeah.
think if we were to bring them to United
Okay.
and they paired with Kobe, would have been
Yeah.
very strong. Now these are just
Yeah.
very fantasy kind of players, but please bear with me.
Okay.
One,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Gallagher, Conor Gallagher from Chelsea. That guy is my favorite player at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Gallagher, I've been
Yeah.
watching
Yeah.
Gallagher
Yeah.
since
Yeah.
he was on loan. You pair Gallagher with Kobe Mano in that midfield, you
Yeah.
have two workhorses. Workhorses! And
Yeah.
they're good on the ball. It's not like, and they
Yeah.
want the ball. It's not like it's,
Yeah.
and you're not going to get this competition
Yeah.
of Conor Gallagher wanting to stay up front. Nah, Conor Gallagher puts a shift in. He runs, he tackles. Fede Valverde
Yeah.
from Real
Yeah.
Madrid, my favorite Real Madrid player.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I would have Kamavinga. You see that
Yeah,
midfield, the midfielders Fede, Kamavinga, or Chouamini. Any
yeah,
of them
yeah,
can
yeah,
pair up with Kobe Mainoo.
yeah, yeah,
And then there's one that's missing. Um, um, I wanted to say Pedri and Gavi because they're from Barcelona, but the reason why is because I think
yeah,
with Pedri, he's much more of a silky. He will leave a lot of the dirty work to Mainu, but Mainu would work very well
yeah,
with Gavi. Gavi
yeah, yeah.
puts in a tackle, likes to put leaves his that. So man, I've been thinking there are a couple of midfielders that if we were to buy at Manchester United to pair up with the youngster, I really think would
Yeah,
really do the business. Whether United will do it or not, I don't know. But
that is
yeah,
that because there's no way on God's green earth, you know, that
mm,
that's ever going to happen. So that's a proper fantasy.
bro. So
But
one of
I
my boys.
the only one out of your fantasy. Okay,
No. Carry on, carry
yeah,
on.
go ahead. No,
No,
I was
no,
saying the
no. Just
only
finish
one
up your.
possibly from that fantasy. Yeah, the only one possibly from that fantasy is maybe Gallagher. Maybe, you know what I mean. There's a
Yeah.
possibility, but
Tottenham want him, bro. I know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, eh, yeah. Bro, but Gallagher's going to Tottenham, bro.
there's no chance they're leaving Real Madrid. But yeah, man.
Big Ange,
What were you saying
Big
about
Ange
your boy?
is making Big Ange is making moves for Conor Gallagher. Anyway, we're drifting, but we'll talk more about that.
Mm,
Um, what point did I want to make? No. I
something about your
Kobe Main.
boy.
I wanted. The guy he said something very outrageous yesterday to me. He was like he thinks Garnacho should go out on loan, like probably to like Disabri to get polished up. And then yeah. And like he's good, but then if he goes to Deserby or something, he'll be polished up even more. And I'm like, wait, what? And then I'm like, wait, you want us to send Garnacho on loan so that we can leave Rashford to busy take a walk on the. You are mad. You are mad.
Dude,
I just said you are mad, bro. How?
there's no way. There's
And
no way.
even if we were to do
Dude,
that, we need to buy another winger. Is Manchester United willing to be playing around with money like that? Come on.
mm, mm,
That's the thing that
yeah,
made me laugh. Yeah,
not a
anyway,
chance.
I was like,
Not a chance.
no, no,
Yeah, nah, man.
no.
Yeah, but
Rather
I hear
sell
you. But
Rashford, rather
man,
sell myself.
yeah, yeah. No, those guys need to bow down. It's funny because we started off with the starting lineup, and then it sort of builded, breaking conversations within the sort of that we're talking about in the starting lineup. But it's good. Last but not least,
Yeah.
Garnacho, Rasmus Hoyland, Anthony. Garnacho
Mm.
had or play a dangerous ball into the box, but it just seemed yesterday was not his day. You know, a lot of missed opportunities there. Rasmus Hoyland was like a ghost in that game.
Garnacho,
Like I don't even remember anything that he did, anything stand out that he did. And I'm not blaming him. I know it's just how United play,
he was
and
making
the
runs,
service is
bro.
very poor.
Like,
But that's what I'm saying. Like because the passes were not getting to him, and because he wasn't really getting involved, because the way I see Rasmus, it's almost like Fellaini. He's just winning balls, aerial balls, shielding them, making passes, going into spaces, and then no one is finding him. At least with Fellaini, we would find him. Mourinho would be like, you have to
yeah,
find Fellaini. and you know Fellaini will be there with that last minute header into the back of the net. But with Rasmus, it's like we're not doing that for him. You know, he's getting the ball, he's winning the ball shielding it, playing it to the outfield players, making runs to the box to the low service. You know what I mean? So it's just unfortunate. Anthony, yeah, he had again, like his game is improving incrementally, and he's seeming to make better decisions. You know what? Where I was really panicking was that chance, that through ball when they hit on the break and then he made that through ball to Garnacho in between the defenders. I almost thought he was going to either make the pass too late and Garnacho was going to be offside, or he was
Mm.
probably going to run and try go for goal, whatever. You understand? But he made the pass. And then when he made the pass, I'm like, Garnacho, like 90% of the job has been done for you. Bury this thing. Bury it. And then he just messed up his footing. And I'm like, this was supposed to be our first
Yesterday
goal. You know what I mean? So
there was a
yeah.
there was a weird moment. You see, United, Anthony, he's always when he gets into the line, he always
Mm,
chops into his left, try to create something. He never, ever.
yeah.
I don't know when, like, I think you
Mhm.
can count with one
Mhm.
hand how many times he has put in the ball one
Yep.
time with his right foot. Now,
Yeah.
everybody keeps on complaining that no, there's no ball going in. Nah, nah, nah. Then the one time Anthony decides to put a first time cross into the box with his right, and it was a good ball. People were not expecting it
Yeah.
because they just knew that this nigga was going to chop it into his left
Exactly.
and then continue.
He's
No one
gonna
was
cut it.
expecting him to put that
Yeah.
cross. Now he puts the cross.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like fuck. Like that was
Yeah.
also another opportunity for us. But
Yep.
anyway, man,
Yeah.
I don't know if there's
Yeah,
anything
man.
else you
It
wanted
is what
to
it
add.
is. Nah, not really. Like, I think for me, like, when I saw Ericsson on the bench, I was happy, because I'm like, Ericsson is back, quality player.
Yes,
I know Ericsson,
yes.
Kobe is not the partnership we want to see, but Ericsson has proven to be a good pairing
It
for
is
a
better.
formidable center back.
It is
So I
better.
would rather, exactly, I would rather Ericsson pair up with Kobe if he doesn't want to pair Kobe with Amrabat than Scott with Kobe. So I'd rather see
Yes,
Ericsson with Kobe. So I
yes,
really hope that
yes.
like the game against Villa, I want to see Ericsson and Kobe in that midfield. So I'm happy Ericsson is back. I'm happy that Marcus Rashford is still on the bench. You know, and yeah, I guess that's the only notable thing. I wanted to say, and I just hope that Varane will be um what you
Fit.
call this will be healthy,
Yeah,
fit, because we are playing Villa in what in 2 days. Yeah,
yeah.
in 2 days' time we're gonna be playing Villa on Tuesday. Yeah, today's Sunday, tomorrow Christmas, and then Boxing Day we're gonna be playing Villa. So I'm just hoping that he'll be feeling better by then, and I want to see this kid play again. I know it's dangerous, to be playing academy boys like back to back and whatever. Like we said, it was one game. We don't know how he's gonna perform in the next game. Maybe the nerves, or maybe that's only when the nerves will kick in.
Mm.
Maybe it hasn't yet clocked into his head that I'm actually playing first team Premier League football. Maybe that second game is that game that clocks and then he gets the jitters. You understand? So
Yeah.
yeah, I guess Varane, Johnny Evans, and then Willie can be on the bench. I'm cool with that. But yeah, obviously we should see the low back. I don't know if that makes any difference. Um, and then yeah, man. But other than that, I think that's the only thing I want to mention, about that fixture. But yeah, man, dog, that Villa game, I'm all looking forward to it.
But I'm not scared.
Looking forward. That
I'm not
team, man.
scared.
That
I'm
team.
not scared.
I don't know why. I don't know why. And you know why I'm scared of Villa? Is because they literally played Arsenal, put them to bed, played City next, put them to bed, back to back, back to back.
Nah, but that doesn't mean it will happen to us. You see, you know what
I
United is
get
good
it.
for,
I
D?
get it. I
We have
get
a
it.
knack of
Yeah.
spoiling people's shit.
Disruption.
Like it's just yeah. Like
Yeah, yeah,
you look at that game
yeah,
yesterday against West Ham. West Ham were trying
yeah,
to get into their
yeah,
rhythm, but we were just disrupting them. Like they couldn't get.
yeah.
They had to
Yep.
think outside the box. They had to wait for opportunities. They had to wait for Scott McTominay not
Yeah,
to press Paqueta. They had to wait for Kobe Mainoo to slip. They had
yeah,
to wait for key moments for them to capitalize on our
yeah,
situation. So it wasn't easy for them, even though it was like their full
True.
squad. It wasn't easy for them. Same with Villa. Villa, like yeah,
Mm.
like I'm sitting here right now, but I know next week I'll be pissed off saying, "Hey, this is hey." But D, I am not scared. I
Yeah.
don't know why. Like
Yeah.
United
Yeah.
give me this dark horse wild card bullshit. It's like you just never know. Like any team. And the
Yeah.
only saving grace that I
True.
have, or the only thing that positive that I take is that like I'm slowly the improvement is there, even though we're getting battered, but I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing it. I'm
Yeah.
seeing
Yeah.
it. And yeah. So
Yeah.
if we are able to like the more we're gonna keep on playing these games, like we meet Liverpool, like even if we meet City next time, it's not gonna be the same game.
Yeah.
Tottenham, it's not gonna be the same game.
Yeah.
We're gonna meet a totally
Yeah.
different team. So with
Yeah.
Villa, they don't want to meet this United. They would have wished to meet us a bit
Yeah.
back then, not this one. This
Yeah.
this
Yeah. Yeah.
weird one
Yeah.
here can take out anyone. It's unfortunate we got taken out by West
Yeah.
Ham, but yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not, I
No,
could
I
be
hear
wrong.
you.
I could be,
Yeah.
I could
No,
be
I hear
wrong.
you. I hear you. I hear you. You know what, man? Oh man, if it's possible, we should
Yeah.
try to do a watch along for the Villa game, if it's possible.
If it's possible, we'll make that
Because if
happen.
I'm not mistake, yeah, if it's possible, we'll make that happen. Because I don't think it's a late match. Let me just double check real quick. I don't think it's a
Yeah.
late match, but yeah, it'll be nice if we can kick back. It's 8 in the evening. It's in the evening.
On
It'll be nice if we can
on
kick back and watch it together.
yeah. Just to see our reaction,
Yeah,
yeah? And talk
yeah.
about how we. Yeah. No,
Just
we'll
to see
plan for
our
that.
reaction. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would definitely plan for that. But yeah, man. And any last remarks? Any
Close
last
us up.
words?
Nah, man. I just
All
did. I
right.
gave them.
Thank you guys once. All right. Cool. All right. Thanks, guys, once again for listening to another episode of the Glory Reds podcast. You can catch us on all your favorite podcasting platforms for Glory Reds FC. And with that being said, thanks once again for listening to this episode, and we are out. Peace.
Peace.